Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Learn Canadian English live stream. My name's Ian, and I am back from vacation. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope everybody's doing well. As usual, say hello in the comments, and we'll have a lot of interaction. So I'll be asking you questions. You guys can ask me questions and put all those questions and comments in the comments section. So just before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that Right Start Newcomer Services conducts business in Shabuktuk, which is how you say Halifax in the Mi'kmaq language. This city is part of the ancestral unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This means that when settlers came, the Indigenous people did not surrender their territory and instead signed treaties with Europeans. As a business, we're committed to upholding these treaties as we continue to build relationships between settlers, newcomers, and Mi'kmaq people. Great. So how is everybody doing? I know I've been away for a few weeks, so this was a good chance for me to take a vacation, recharge my batteries, get some energy for classes into the future. Right. So if you're watching, say hello. I see we have a couple students already. So Pilar is here. Hi, Pilar. Hello from Colombia again. Well, thank you for coming back, Pilar. I hope you had a few good weeks. And I want to hear about your time off as well. So as we go through today's lesson, I'm going to be asking you lots of questions. Maybe you took a vacation too, and you'll get lots of opportunities to talk about that. And Martha is here. Hi, Martha. Good to see you again. Thank you for coming back. And again, I'm sorry I was on vacation, but you're going to hear all about my vacation. And look at my background. This is one of the beautiful places where I was during my vacation. And I wanted to share some of those photos and some of my experiences with you guys. So great. So again, I'm so happy you could join us. Give me 1 second and I'll get today's presentation ready. Okay, here we go. All right, so today's topic, I thought we would start back with a nice, easy topic. Today's topic is talking about vacations. So I want to tell you guys about my vacation, and I want to hear about your vacation as well. And we're going to be practicing some other points. So we're going to be working on discussion. I want you guys to tell me about your vacation. We're going to brainstorm some vocabulary related to vacations. Then we're going to practice a very important topic called reduced speech. So I don't know if you know what reduced speech means, but we're going to get some practice. Basically, it's the habit that native speakers usually have when they speak English. They don't speak it exactly like you might see in a textbook or that you might hear in an English class. They use like street language and they speak very quickly, and they tend to reduce or shorten words. So it's a little bit hard for people learning English to understand. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get some practice with reduced speech. Then I'm going to tell you about my vacation. This will be a little listening activity. I'm going to talk about my vacation and show you some photos. Then I'm going to ask you some questions about what you heard. And then finally, you will get the chance to talk about your vacation. If you took a vacation, if you didn't take a vacation, that's fine. Maybe you can just tell us about your last vacation, whenever that was. Okay, great. So we have another student. Victor is here. Hey, Victor. Welcome back, Ian. Thank you. And Victor says hello to everybody. So hello, Victor. Thanks for coming. I hope you're doing well. And I'm so happy to see everybody here. I was a little bit worried, I was gone for 3 weeks. I was wondering, is anybody going to show up for my class because I was gone away? But I'm so happy to see we have 9 students. That's awesome. So I'm super excited. Thank you guys for coming back, and let's learn English together. Okay, so to start, I just want to have a little discussion. So answer the questions in the chat. If you're watching the recording on YouTube or Facebook, that's cool. You can still put your answers in the chat and I will follow up with you and help you with those answers. Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. Number one, did you have a vacation this year? Where did you go? I know, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's summer. In the South, maybe it's winter. But did you have a vacation over the last little while? So I want to hear from you guys. Where did you go? What did you do? Why did you choose that vacation? Okay, so why did you do what you did? And then the last one, anybody can answer. So what is your dream vacation? So what is a vacation that you really, really want to do, but maybe you don't have the time, you don't have the money, maybe it's too far away, but what is a place you would love to go to and what would you do when you got there? So I'll give you guys a few minutes. Type your answers in the chat. We'll go over a few of them. I'll help you with your spelling and grammar and all of that fun stuff. Okay, don't be shy. Maybe your English is a little rusty. You haven't been practicing with us for a few weeks. So hopefully you didn't forget all your English. Don't worry, it's in there somewhere. You just have to dig down a little bit and find that English that you might have lost over the last few weeks. So does anybody have an answer? Did anybody take a vacation besides me? I think everybody can at least answer number 5. What's your dream vacation, even if you haven't taken a vacation yourself recently? Okay, I'll give you a couple more seconds to answer that. All right, so we do have an answer here. So Victor says, yes, I took my vacations this year in January. Stayed in my home country and did some inside tourism with my fam. Okay, great, Victor. So that's kind of like a staycation. Have you heard that word? My wife and I took one earlier. Here, I'm going to write it here. How do I add another banner? Weird. I'll write it as a comment. Okay, so maybe this is a new word for you guys. This is what we'd call a staycation. So you stay home, you stay in your country, you go to some places around, maybe you stay in a hotel. This is what we would call a staycation. In English, we like to put 2 words together to make a new word. So stay plus vacation gives you staycation. Okay, so Victor took a staycation in his country. Good for you, Victor. Let's just say, Victor, instead of I took, don't say did, just say I took, because took is the past tense form of take. So I took my vacation this year in January. I stayed in my home country and did some inside tourism with my family. Okay, that would be perfect. Just that first did. Take it out and say I took my vacations this year. Okay, perfect. And Martha says I didn't have vacation time this year. That's too bad. Sorry to hear that, but we all know how important vacations are, right? You need time to relax. You need time to refresh and recharge your batteries, as we might say in English. Okay, hopefully soon you get a vacation, Martha. All right, great. Pilar said, no, I haven't yet. I have to wait until December. Okay, great. So just don't say on December, Pilar. So you just want to say wait until December. Okay, so we'll take that on out and then your answer is perfect. Great. And Martha said, I'd like to go to Puerto Vallarta and do snorkeling and swim in warm water. That sounds amazing. Puerto Vallarta, I think, is in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. Heard it's beautiful. Snorkeling, that's a good word. Does everybody know what snorkeling means? Okay, if you don't know, snorkeling involves swimming, usually in the ocean or a lake or something. You have a snorkel. So a snorkel is a breathing device. It goes in your mouth and sticks out of the water, and that allows you to look down at the fish and everything under the water. So snorkeling, that's a great word. Maybe I can draw it for you guys. Yeah, so that's kind of a snorkel. One end goes in your mouth, and then the other end goes out of the water. This is the water, and you can breathe from the air. So, good word, snorkel. I love snorkeling. I can't wait to do it again. Okay, thank you, Martha. And Victor says, okay. Okay, great, Victor. Awesome. You guys are amazing. So, I want to hear more about it later. Let's move on. And then you guys will get another chance. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then you'll be able to write them a little bit later on. So let's do a little bit of brainstorming. Okay, so we're going to do some vocabulary work now. Think about some places that you might like to go or that other people like to go on vacation. So what are some vacation destinations? Okay, so think about places that people like to go, not so much countries and cities. We're not going to talk about those, but look at the picture. So places like the beach, right? People like to go to the beach. Or where else do people like to go? Let's brainstorm, put your answers in the chat. We're going to write them down and try to come up with a list of places that people like to go. Bay is here. Hey, Bay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Bay, I know it was your birthday yesterday, I think. So happy birthday. Don't worry about being late. It's still your birthday week, right? So you can do whatever you want on your birthday week. But thanks for coming. So give me some ideas. What are some places you'd like to go or that other people like to go? You're welcome, Bay. All right, so let's just write one, the beach. Notice the beach is one of those places where we say the before it. So I went to the beach this summer instead of a beach, right? Usually we would say just the beach, kind of like I went to the bank or I went to the store. We just say the beach. Okay, so snow vacations for skiing and stuff if you are from a warm weather country. So skiing, right? There's, where would we go skiing? Maybe we could say the mountains, right? In order to ski, downhill ski, you need a mountain. So a lot of people like to go to the mountains to go skiing if you're from a warm weather country. Okay, great answer, Victor. People like to go to the museum. Okay, great. I did go to a museum this summer. So my wife and I went to the art gallery here in Halifax, and it was pretty cool. Okay, great answer. Thank you, Martha. Pilar, so I'd like to travel to San Andres and Providence Island. It's a beautiful place in the Colombian Caribbean. Nice. That sounds awesome. So I think this was back from the previous slide. You were answering one of those questions about what is your dream vacation. That sounds amazing. Great English as well, Pilar. So great answer. And yes, I would love to go there as well. And Nisha, hi Nisha, says Corniche. Corniche, is that a place? I'm not familiar with that place, Nisha. So Corniche could be a beautiful place somewhere. I'll have to look that one up later. Okay, great. Let's try to think of a few more destinations. So the beach, the mountains, museums. Where else do people like to go on vacation? Maybe, some people like to go camping. So they go to the forest. Right? Me, I went to a lake. So my brother has a cottage. I'll show you some pictures later. I went to a lake so we could do lots of things, swimming, kayaking, and a lot of different stuff. Okay, let's try to think of one more place maybe that people might want to go while on vacation. Some people like shopping, right? Some people, their dream vacation is to go to the mall or the markets and go shopping. You know, that's not my favorite thing. Okay, great. So Martha said sailing. Great. So maybe you know, sailing's not really a destination, maybe the ocean, right? A lot of people go sailing in the ocean. Yeah, that's more of an activity. So to visit family wherever your family is. But this is great. So this is good vocabulary in case you guys want to talk to people about your vacation. And you know, that's something that we do a lot, right? When we go back to work after our vacation, everybody wants to know about it. So they ask us questions. We want to share our experience with other people, maybe show them some pictures. So this is a really good activity and a good skill to be able to use. To talk about your vacations, to brag to your coworkers about the great time you had away from work. All right. Let's move on. Thank you guys for answering. So this is more about activities. So what activities do we like to do during vacation? And some of the answers like sailing and visiting family are great vacation activities, right? So those are two excellent options. Can you think of some more, right? What else do we like to do on vacation besides sailing, visiting family, going to the beach? Somebody said skiing, right? I can't remember if that was you, Martha, but somebody said it. Going to the museum. Great. Are there any other activities? Oh, Victor. Okay. Fishing. Good one. I tried that a little bit on my vacation. The place where I was at my brother's cottage, the fish were huge, right? I don't know if you can see, but they were super big. I didn't catch any of them. So I'm not a good fisherman. You know, I don't eat a lot of fish. So yeah, I'm not the best person for that, but it was really cool to see and hear all those huge fish. So if you get a chance, go to Ontario. There's lots of lakes there where you can go fishing. I said camping too. Okay, great. Camping. So a lot of people like to go camping. So they'll stay in a tent in the forest with nature, you know, no electricity, no kitchen. They have to cook all their food on a fire, sleep outside in a tent or on the grass. It's lovely, but you know, it's not everybody's favorite thing. It's not everybody's cup of tea, as we might say. Relaxing. Okay, that is awesome. Everybody likes relaxing. That's a good one, Martha. And last one, walking. Yes. So walking a lot. Also, there's another word I'll write here, hiking. So what's the difference between hiking, this word, and walking? Is there a difference between hiking and walking? That's my question for you. Or are they the same, basically, hiking and walking? Okay, there's another one. Pilar says diving. Okay, so uh, by diving, I think you mean like diving in the ocean, sort of, what do they call it? Scuba diving. Yeah, so I think you mean scuba diving. That's great. You can also just say diving, and most people would think that you meant scuba diving. Okay, and we have an answer for my question. So Victor says hiking usually involves forest, woods, walking is more a park city thing. I think that's a perfect answer, right? So hiking is usually outside of the town and city, in the woods, forests, mountains, away from people. Walking is something that you do every day, right? You walk in your apartment, you walk outside, you walk to the grocery store. That's not really hiking. Hiking is in nature. Okay, great. And Pilar confirmed that yes, it is scuba diving in the ocean. That sounds awesome. I've never done it myself. I'm a little bit afraid of sharks. Well, let's say a lot afraid of sharks. So I don't know if I would be a good scuba diver. I don't know if you guys heard, but we had a shark attack in Nova Scotia. So they think it was a great white shark that attacked somebody swimming in the ocean off of Nova Scotia. And that person had to be taken to the hospital. I don't know how they are now, but it's a little bit scary. I think the sharks are coming north, close to Nova Scotia, and it's scary for me because I don't know. I watched Jaws as a kid. If you ever saw the movie Jaws, you'll know what I mean. It's a pretty scary movie about sharks. So if after class you can go watch Jaws and never want to go in the ocean again, just like me. Okay, great. So thank you guys for sharing your answers about what people like to do on vacation and where they like to go. Now let's practice a bit about reduced speech. So at the beginning of the live stream, if you were here, I mentioned a little bit about reduced speech. So reduce means to make smaller or shorten. So when we say reduced speech, it's the sounds are being deleted or produced less clearly than in careful speech. And it's speech with syllables or words deleted. So this is a definition from Natasha Warner from the University of Arizona. Basically, it just means the way that we might write something is different from the way that we say it in conversation. And we'll get some practice with this. So what I wanted to practice was questions, right? How is reduced speech used in questions? Victor, okay, is sweating a bit. I think that is about the shark thing that I mentioned. Yeah, but please don't hate sharks. They're beautiful creatures. They deserve to be in the ocean. And really, it's their home. We're going into their home. And of course, if you go into their home, they might try to bite you a little bit. All right, so reduce speech. Let's look at an example. So here's a question that somebody might ask you about your vacation. Where did you go on vacation? Right? So that's a pretty easy question. Where did you go on vacation? But the way they say this question is a little bit different. So when they use reduced speech, they might say, where'd you go on vacation? I'll say it again. Where'd you go on vacation? So that is the way that I would speak to my friend, my family member, not a student, right? Because I'm a teacher, I know how to speak clearly and carefully so students understand me. But in my day-to-day talk, I would say, where'd you go on vacation? And I tried to write it out a little bit so you would be able to understand what I'm saying. So instead of where did you go on vacation, where'd you go on vacation? Okay, we'll practice this a little bit later. So have you heard this before? Is it hard for you to hear? Do you understand the difference between like written and formal speech compared to reduced speech? Okay, so that was the first one. Where'd you go on vacation? Number 2. So the actual question is, who did you go with? But when I'm speaking, I would say, who'd you go with? Who'd you go with? Do you hear the difference, right? So who'd you go with instead of who did you go with? Who'd you go with? Oh, English is crazy, right? So I wrote it out. Remember, this is not how you would spell it. This is just how you might hear it. Who'd you go with? Okay. Understand? All good? Give me a thumbs up if you follow what I'm saying. If you don't follow, you can give me one of these symbols or the thinking symbol like this. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Number 3, why did you go there? So again, this is how you would write it. This is formal language. But when I say it, I would say, why'd you go there? Why'd you go there? Okay, so not why did you go there? Why'd you go there? Okay, we got some people, thumbs up from Bay. Great. Ramsey's got it. Martha didn't say anything. Okay. Pilar got it. And Ramsey's got it and is clapping. Okay. You're welcome, Ramsey's. Okay, great. So this one, why did you go there? I would say, why'd you go there? Right? Why'd you go there? Okay. English is crazy. What did you do there? Okay. All right. I like that. Christian. Okay, great. Awesome. So, what did you do there? I'd say, what'd you do there? What'd you do there? Right. And so something like that. What'd you do there? Okay. Next one. How did you get there? I would say, how'd you get there? How'd you get there? How'd you get there? Okay, and the last one, when did you get back? When did you get back? I would say, when'd you get back? When'd you get back? When'd ya get back? So let's review one more time. Remember that the main thing is not you having to speak like this, right? You can if you want, right? You can learn how to speak using reduced speech, and that helps you sound more natural when speaking English, for sure, right? You would sound like you had maybe a Canadian accent, and people might think you were born here, which is great and everything, but it doesn't really matter, right? You don't need to speak this way. What really matters is you hear and understand what somebody is saying to you, right? Because I hear this a lot from a lot of students. They say, oh, teacher, I understand everything you say. 100% teacher, I understand you. But when I go into the real world, when I go into the street, I don't understand 50% of what people say. And reduced speech is a big reason, right? People talk fast, yes, they have accents, yes, but they also used reduced speech. And when they do that, it's hard for students of English to understand because you didn't really practice it enough, right? So you get better by practicing, right? You listen to it, you can go back and re-listen to the live stream, hearing that and then realizing, okay, that's what they're asking. This is how they said it. And this is what they're asking for. So let's review. Where'd you go on vacation? Who'd you go with? Why'd you go there? Not who'd you go there. Why'd you go there? What'd you do there? How'd you get there? And when'd you get back? Okay, awesome. So hopefully that was a little bit useful. Just remember, this is something you can practice listening to these questions and then answering those questions. So I'd like to hear from you guys actually. So I've got a question for you. I'll say one of these questions and I want you to put the answer in the comment section. So I'm not going to say which one. We're not going to go in order. I'm just going to ask you one of these questions. You write your answer in the comment section. Good? Good to go? Awesome. All right. So let's start with let's start with number one because the other ones don't make sense. So where'd you go on vacation? If you did go somewhere, great. If you didn't go anywhere, you can make it up, or you can think about your last vacation, maybe last year or before. So where'd you go on vacation? You can just write one word, 2 words. You don't have to write a full sentence. Where'd you go on vacation? Where'd you go on vacation? Hey, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Good answer. I went to Cancun for vacation. Oh, Cancun. I heard one of my students is from Mexico. She highly recommended Cancun. So I'll have to check it out. Martha went to Egypt. Okay, very cool. That's on my bucket list. Martha, that is a place I really want to visit. Maybe that's good vocabulary. So let's add this vocabulary on my bucket list. So a bucket list it's not a real thing. It's sort of a list of dreams, what you want to do and where do you want to go before you die, right? So Egypt is on my bucket list. I'd love to go there. I was talking to my wife the other day. I want to ride a camel around the pyramids. So that is one of the things on my bucket list. Okay, so that's super cool, Martha. So you went to Egypt. Victor took a staycation with his family. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, staycations. Don't say VA. So no vacation. It's just staycation without the VA part. Awesome, Victor. I went to Cali City in Colombia. Great. Staycation. Okay, great, Victor. Luz went to Cartagena, Colombia. Okay, I know my pronunciation is wrong. Excellent, Luz. Thank you. Christian stayed at home. Sad face. Sorry about that, Christian. And my living room. Okay. No problem. I kind of like to stay home too on vacation. So Luz wants to go to Miami. You guys are awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you one of the other questions. So how'd you get there? So think about your last vacation. How'd you get there? If you stayed home, I guess you just woke up and then walked to your living room. But think about your last vacation. How'd you get there? How'd you get there? This is great. We have 13 students watching today live. That is amazing. You guys are the best students in the whole world. So think back, your last vacation. How'd you get there? So I want to know how you got there. How'd you get there? Did you walk? Did you drive? Through the main road. Okay, Victor. Good answer, right? Made up just to answer. You got there by the main road. I mean, did you walk there? Did you drive there? Did you fly there? Did you take a boat? Did you ride a camel? Did you take your horse, ride a motorcycle? Did you drive? How did you get there? So, Luz, okay. So remember I asked about your last vacation. So let's use the past tense, right? So instead of I will get there by plane, maybe you could say I flew, F-L-E-W there. Or I took a plane, I took, T-O-O-K, a plane. So this was in the past. This is a past vacation. So let's use the past tense in our answer. Bay, great driving. You could say I drove, right? I drove to my living room. Okay, great. And great, Martha. Fly. So remember, this is a past vacation. How did you get there, or how'd you get there? Past tense of fly is flew. So F-L-E-W. I flew there. Great. And we'll just use the past tense, and then that's a perfect answer. Okay, Bay. So no, you didn't drive to your living room your last vacation. Okay, I was just joking with you. I took a plane to Tamaco in Cali. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Pilar. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Next question. Why'd you go there? Why'd you go there? Okay, so again, think back to your last vacation. Why'd you go there? Why'd you go there? Okay, Jose, this is still answering the last question. How'd you get there? Jose drove there. Great. And Bay went to the living room to see her family. Okay, great. Or she's talking about her other vacation where she drove. Awesome. So why'd you go there? So the real question is, why did you go there? But reduced speech, I would say, why'd you go there? Okay, why'd you go there? Maybe, yeah, to see family. That's a great reason. You've always wanted to go there, or it's a beautiful place, or you wanted to do some special activity. Maybe you wanted to shop. Maybe it's super cheap. Like a lot of Canadians go to the US, go to America to go shopping because everything is so cheap there compared to here. And taxes are also lower, right? It's crazy. Here in Nova Scotia, we pay 15% tax on pretty much everything we buy. But if we drive into America, we can drive a little bit and we get to New Hampshire. New Hampshire is a state with no tax. So not only are things cheaper, but there's no tax. Tons of Canadians go every year to go shopping in the US. Of course, because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do that so much, but maybe in the future we'll be able to go again. Okay, so Victor said because of the pandemic, we couldn't leave the country. Okay, so that's a good reason for staying in Colombia, because you're not allowed to leave. Yeah, I know what you mean, Victor. I feel the same way. I wanted to know the pyramids. Okay, great answer, Martha. So wanted to maybe learn more about the pyramids, or see the pyramids, or experience the pyramids. So that's great. Christian, I stayed home because my budget is too low to travel abroad. I hear you, Christian. Times are tough. Hopefully you're saving some money and you're planning a future trip to go to the place of your dreams. So we stayed here and traveled around. Okay, great. Awesome answers. Let's do 2 or 3 more questions and then we'll move on. So next question is, who'd you go with? Who'd you go with? So think about your last vacation. Who'd you go with? Who'd you go with? Okay, starting to see some answers come in. Bay said, with my kids. Great. Excellent travel companions. You went on vacation with your kids. Great. Great, Martha. Sorry, Martha, I went with some friends. Perfect answer. Victor went with my wife and kids, my tribe. Okay, great. Tribe just means your group, your family or your best friends or something like that. That is awesome. So who'd you go with? And the last question, what'd you do there? What'd you do there? What'd you do there? Okay, Pilar, I went to my husband, maybe with my husband. Great, with my husband and my cat, Carlotta. Okay, great. I love cats, and I hope Carlotta travels well because my cat's old. She's like 17, and she's not much of a traveler. She likes to stay home, and we wouldn't take her on a big, long trip. Maybe overnight we would take her, but don't want to take her too far. And Jose, I went with my parents, right? Maybe let's say I went with my parents. Great. And the last one, so what'd you do there? What'd you do there on your last vacation? Victor had an answer. So we went to different beaches, rivers, museums, and we ate a lot. I hear you, buddy. So I ate a lot on my vacation too. Really good food. But yeah, sometimes on vacation, you don't really get to cook. You don't really eat exactly the best way or the way that you should. So I know what you mean, Victor. Ate a lot. Okay, last question. What'd you do? What'd you do there on your last vacation? Okay, awesome. I'm jealous, Martha. So past tense, I rode, R-O-D-E. I rode on, because you're not in the camel, that would be pretty disgusting. I rode on a camel. Okay, great. So I rode on a camel. I would love to do that someday. Camel is like one of my favorite animals, so I always wanted to ride on a camel. Christian stayed at home with my wife. Awesome. And yes, perfect spelling, camel. Great. So again, we're going to move on. Super important you practice these, understanding these types of questions that use reduced speech. So again, where'd you go on vacation? Who'd you go with? Why'd you go there? What'd you do there? How'd you get there? When'd you come back? This is the way that Canadians speak, 90% of the time, right? So it's really important that you guys hear that and you understand what the person is really asking you. And perfect answer, Martha. You fixed it. I rode on a camel. That's great. I know we're running out of time and I really wanted to share some stuff about my vacation. So I'm going to tell you a bit. So I'll tell you a little story to show you some of my pictures and then listen for these answers. Okay. So where'd I go? Who'd I go with? Who did I see there? When did I go and when did I get back? Why did I go there? How did I get there? And what did I do on my vacation? So here are just some questions to keep in mind. As I go through, you can make a note of it, you can write it down, or you can just listen for these things. Okay, so one more time, where did I go? Who did I go with? Who did I see there? When did I go and when did I get back? How did I go there? Why did I go there? How did I get there? And what did I do on my vacation? So give me 1 second. I'm gonna get my phone. Okay, so there's me and my mom. So we decided to travel together to go to Toronto. So we left on August 10th and we got back on August 17th. Our main reason for traveling was to go see my brother and his family. So they live in Ontario, we live in Nova Scotia, and because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to see them in about 2 years. So mom needed someone to travel with her. She asked me to go and I decided, yes, I would take some time off and travel with my mom. So Of course, that's me on the left wearing the same shirt I'm wearing now, and my lovely mom on the right. So, hi, Mom. What's next? Okay, so we took a plane. So we left from Halifax Airport, flew on WestJet. It's about a 2-hour flight from Halifax to Toronto. Unfortunately, it was pretty expensive. So plane tickets were like over $800 this time. So usually it's not so expensive, but because of the pandemic and everybody's trying to travel now, plane tickets are pretty expensive. So it was like $850 with tax included. And I don't know what it's like there, but here you have to pay for luggage. So if you have a suitcase to take on the plane, you have to pay for it. So we just carried on all of our luggage and took it onto the plane with us. Okay, here you can see from the plane, this is going over Toronto. So I had a window seat and I filmed our descent into Toronto. So Toronto, I don't know if you know, it's one of the bigger cities in Canada. This is also reduced speech, right? We spell it Toronto. So I'll write it here in the comments. Toronto. But listen to the way I say it. Toronto. Toronto. I don't say Toronto. I say Toronto. And some people say Toronto. So, Toronto or Toronto. Yes, Pilar is shocked by this, maybe the view of Toronto. So great. This is downtown Toronto. This is the Union Station. This is where my brother is working now. So he's an engineer and they're doing some engineering project on Union Station in downtown Toronto. This is where all the trains and stuff connect in downtown Toronto. So it's a beautiful old building. Here are some skyscrapers in Toronto, some pretty cool buildings. So it's a pretty big population in Toronto. It's like 5 million or more people, maybe 6 million. So it is Canada's largest city. But for me, it's too big, right? It's too busy. It's too crowded. The traffic is too bad. I prefer living in smaller cities. But once in a while, I like to visit places like Toronto. Here is my mom on the left again and my brother Tim. So that's who we went to visit. Like I said, he's living in Toronto and he's an engineer there. So it was good to see him after a long time. What do you think? Is he older than me or younger? I know I'm better looking, but is he older or younger than me? What do you think? Okay, here's some more pictures of Toronto, some of the cool buildings. I like this picture I took of the buildings looking straight up. Here's a nice old church and one of the streetcars. And more downtown Toronto. And this is Lake Ontario. So we didn't actually go in this lake, but it's one of the Great Lakes. It's a beautiful, it's kind of as big as an ocean. It seems like it's really huge. Pilar, I think he's older. Thank you so much, Martha and Pilar. You are correct. He is 3 years older than me. Oh, you guys are so nice. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. He's 3 years older. Thank you, Victor. Thank you for the compliment. Here we are. Okay, this is downtown Toronto. That is me. And I'm pointing at that building. Does anybody know the name of that famous building? So the one here, this one right here. What would we call this building? Have you ever seen it? Have you ever been there? It's famous because it's Canada's tallest structure. It's the highest point in Canada. Oh, great. A lot of people know. Lorraine says the CN Tower, and Jose also says the CN Tower. So that is correct. CN is the railway company in Canada, Canadian National, but they built this tower as a broadcast tower, and to show that they were a strong company. So it's very famous. You can take an elevator up. There's a restaurant on the top. If you don't mind heights, you can check it out. Okay, so after we went to Toronto, we went to my brother's cottage where we spent time with him, his wife Angie, their friends. Lots of different people were there. So we had a lot of good food. We talked a lot, had some drinks, some beer, and some other drinks. We had a really nice time at my brother's cottage. It's nice. It's in nature, which I really like. They have a beautiful dog called Willow. Willow is a French bulldog. She's really cute. And this is their view of the lake. So this is kind of the picture behind me. It was lovely. So we went swimming, kayaking. We did a lot of stuff on the lake. We spent time with their friends. We took a boat out, so it was a lot of fun. Okay, we have a question. What is a cottage? So a cottage is like a summer home. So usually it's only used in maybe spring and summer and maybe fall, usually not in winter. And usually it's away from the city. So it's in the forest, it's on a lake, it's on the ocean. Usually it's a small summer home that people use for vacations. So great question, Martha. I mean, if you have a lot of money, you can buy a cottage or you can rent a cottage on Airbnb. And it's a nice way to get out of the city. Okay, great question. So we had some delicious food, like I mentioned, and we cooked hamburgers over the open fire. It was really nice. I'm mostly vegetarian, so they made me a veggie burger, which was very good. Okay, there's me on the kayak. So mom and I went kayaking a few times, and I went out with my brother. It was a lot of fun. Here's my mom kayaking slowly. And here's a beautiful sunset and my little nephew, Luke. Sorry, that's Zach. And you can see Kate, my niece there, and my brother's wife, Angie. Here we are at a party at my friend Jamie's cottage. That was a pizza party. And you know I love pizza. And here's a picture of me, my family, my brother, and his kids, Zach, Kate, and Luke. So it was overall a wonderful time. We had a lot of fun. And I think I got some really good pictures to remember this by. So that was my vacation. Hope you enjoyed my slideshow. And let's just go back to our presentation. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so question, where'd I go? So this is testing your listening ability. Where did I go? Where'd I go? You can just give me short answers or you can make a sentence. Where'd I go on vacation? Nice picks. I love pizza too. Okay. It's hard to find a Canadian who doesn't love pizza, right? Most, I'd say 90% of Canadians love pizza. So Pilar, when you come to Canada, I'm sure you'll fit in great. And Martha to Toronto. Great. So Toronto and then cottage. Oh, wow. Okay. Traveled to Toronto with your mother, went on August 10th and came back on August 17th. You saw your brother and his kids. You went there to see your brother by plane after Toronto. You went to your brother's cottage. Wow, Bay. You pretty much answered all the questions. So that is awesome. Jose, yes, I went to Toronto. So really well done, Bay. So you answered pretty much all of them. So who did I go with? I think you answered that. My mom. Who did I see there? You saw your brother and his kids. Great. When did I go and when did I get back? You went on August 10th and came back on August 17th. Perfect. How did I get there? By plane. And what did I do on vacation? So what, I think Bay pretty much answered all of them, but what are some of the things I did, right? So I mentioned probably, yeah, like 5 or 6 things that I did while on vacation. Good, Martha. Yes, I went with my mom. What are a couple things that I did? I know our time is almost up. There's a few things I didn't mention. I went shopping a little bit, walking around downtown Toronto, kayaking. Great, Martha. So I did go kayaking. Can you see a kayak in the picture? No, not really. So I took a kayak, which is like a small boat, usually for one person, that you can paddle. Yes, and I love kayaking, so that was a lot of fun. And I visited the CN Tower. This time I didn't go up. You know, I've done that before. I went to the top another time, but this time we didn't go up to the top. Great. You ate vegetarian burgers, took a lot of pics, kayaking with your mother. Great. Thank you, Bay. Those are all correct. Yeah, I did a fair bit of stuff. Mainly, I was spending time with the family, talking, laughing, drinking, eating, having a good time. So it was a nice, restful, relaxing vacation. So really happy I went, but I am also really happy to be back home, right? With my wife and my cat and with you guys, helping you learn English. It's one of my favorite things to do. So we already talked about your summer. Hopefully this lesson was useful, right? For you guys to practice talking about your vacations and also practicing the reduced speech. So understanding other people when they ask you questions like, where'd you go? What'd you do? Who'd you go with? You'll start to hear it and understand those questions a little bit better, so you're better able to have a conversation with your coworkers, with your friends, with your family, with whomever. Yes, Pilar, I charged my batteries. I'm back. Got a lot of sun. I got a lot of rest. So I'm ready for lots of English classes with you guys. I want to be the best teacher I can be. And sometimes that means taking a break once in a while. So we covered a lot of stuff today. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out. Again, my company is called Right Start Newcomer Services. There's our website. There's our email address. If you guys have any questions or you're interested in maybe some one-on-one private lessons or small group lessons, please reach out to me and there's more information on the website. So thanks a lot, guys. Great to see you. Take care, and I will see you on Thursday. So we'll have a great lesson on Thursday, how to order takeout. So we'll talk about pizza again on Thursday. Okay, bye, guys. See you next time.